Hello, and welcome to the Stitch the Season Prompt-2 for the Slow Stitching Art Challenge for 2021. Now this is the third video in the series. The first two videos I'll link below, and they show how to create the basis for our ornaments. So you just have the bare ornament, and then each day with the 10 prompts, you can stitch accordingly to that prompt. And each ornament will be unique and your own, and you shouldn't strive to make them look like anybody else's. So today's prompt is tree. So for that, you can use anything tree related. You can use a decorated tree. You can use a tree out in nature. You can use an Art Deco tree or an abstract tree. You can use a tree covered with snow. The choices are yours. And I'd love to show you my process next. So for the theme of tree, I went to my stash and I found some fabric that had Christmas trees on it. And I also found one that had evergreens. I just think that that shape is very pretty. I'm not sure how I'm going to use it today. I did find some cotton pearl here in beautiful shades of green, and then my neutral color. I have my front piece and my backing with my number 2 already embroidered on it. So I'll set that aside. But after seeing this fabric, I was kind of inspired by this tree here. It's a very simple tree. So I thought I'd cut that out and use that on my piece, and then stitch greenery similar to this right on top of it. And because it's a Christmas tree, I wanted to put a little star. So I had this little plastic star bead, and I'll use that when I'm done. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut out this tree. Now I know this tree is far bigger than I want it to be because it's just too tall for my ornament, but that's okay. I'll cut it out as it is here. And then because it's just a triangle, I can cut it down to size. So I'll just take a little piece of that one and keep playing until I get the right size. So I have my little fabric tree, my little scrap here that I'm going to adhere to my piece. But I want to take another piece of fabric for the back just to reinforce that for all my stitches. So I'll take a pin and hold that in place. Now the first thing I'm going to do is stitch that line straight up that tree. And I want to make sure that this tree is straight. It has a little tendency to move. And then I'll take some green embroidery floss, and I'm just going to create that stem of that tree. I think I'll do a back stitch here, so I'll start at the base, following the lines that happen to be on this piece of fabric, but I could just have divided that triangle in half. I like to go ahead just for a little stitch and then pull it right back to where the first stitch went. And I'll go the length of this little tree. And when I get to the top, I'll remove that pin and make a knot in my stem. So now from here I can decide what I want to do for my tree. I think I'm just going to make the branches go up. So I'll sketch that out with my pen here. I'll match them on either side. And then I'm going to take the different color greens. I have the darker green and the lighter green. I'm going to start with this green here. And I'm just going to do that same stitch on each of these spines that I made coming out from the center. And I'm going to continue with that back stitch all the way from the outside of the tree right to the stem. So these are going to be my branches. And I'll do that on both sides of the tree. So there I have the skeleton of my tree done. I'll knot the back. Now I'm going to remove the lines that I made with my pen. And now I want to take this color thread and I want to make little teeny stems like pine needles coming from each of these stems. So I'll start here at the bottom, come in from the center, and I'm just going to go out just a small little ways. And I'll do that going up the length of the stem. And I'll skip a few spots because I want to vary the color and I want to come back to that lighter green. I want all of my little stems of evergreen to be poking the same direction. So I'll complete this branch and then I'll complete the others. Now as I go up the tree and the branches get shorter, I'm making fewer little stems here. So now I've completed the branches and I switch thread to this other green and I want to just add a few more little stems here on each of them. I think that'll make the branches fill up a little bit further and it'll add even more interest to our piece. Again, I'm making the lower branches a little more fuller, just having more little stems, and I'll just decrease that amount as I go up the tree. So I have all my little branches on my tree and it's very subtle. And now I want to just add that little bead. So I've threaded my needle. I'm going to come in through the bottom of the bead, let it fall into position, and then stitch it down. And I'll come back up again. Just to really reinforce that. I'll knot the back. So now I just want to add some seed stitches all the way around the back of my tree. That adds just a little texture to the background, a few more stitches, and it gives a little bit of interest. So now that I've done the seed stitches, I want to introduce another color in that background, and I just want to make teeny little stitches. I have this gold embroidery floss here with a little bit of metallic flecks in it. I just want to add a few little stitches to the background. They're going to be much smaller than the stitches that I added as the background stitches. I think it adds just a little touch of sparkle to our tree. So now I've completed the little seed stitches on the back with a metallic thread as well as the neutral thread. I have my backing, and now I just want to attach these here by doing like a running stitch all the way around. I have my needle all threaded. I'll come up from the center, tuck that tail, and just stitch all the way around. Once again, I'll go through all the layers, including that ribbon layer, just to combine the front and the back. And there's the back, and there's the front. So here's my version of Prompt-2 for the Stitch the Season challenge. If you complete the prompt, please snap a photo and post it on social media with the hashtag #StitchTheSeason. Feel free to tag me, Daniela Mellen Artist, and I'll take a look at your work. Please be sure to come back and join me tomorrow for Prompt 3.